Now, the Winnipeg Jets have a tendency for having an abundance of offensive talent. They pride themselves on that. We have one of the best offenses in the league. Now, people look at our offense and they think, well, you don't have elite players with elite numbers. Well, we have elite players. I should say they're not elite numbers, 80 points is fantastic, but that's not like 100 points. That's not Leon Draisaitl. How could you have the best offense, people ask. People don't realize that the Jets are the only team with soon-to-be 5 players over 60 points. Before, of course, the coronavirus. Nikolai Ehlers was very close. But that is the only team to have that. That's insane. Think about that. If one more player could get in the top 6 had 60 points, that would be 2 lines of consecutive 60-point players. That is mind-blowing. And one of the biggest reasons for this happening on the Jets is because of Kyle Connor. Kyle Connor is a fantastic player. I'm not going to go in too much on Kyle Connor because you already all know about him because we watched him play. We have for now the last 3 years. Well, actually, it seems like 3 consistent years, but he played before technically, I can guess. And he's been a solid player. I don't really know how to describe Kyle Connor to people that don't understand it because it's like, how do you not know him? It just blows my mind. Like, this guy is fantastic. Right now, he is 7th in points from the 2015 draft class. Out of everyone in that draft, he's 7th in points. He was taken 17th overall. 17th. And he's 7th in points out of that draft. He could make a jump into the top 5 soon, and he could eventually end up being one of the best 3 players from that draft. We don't know yet exactly, but the point is that he's a fantastic player. And not only is he a fantastic player, just out of his draft class comparison, let me just pull up the stat right now of where he is right now in the league. He is 6th in the league right now in goals. That's huge. 6th in the league. He's got more goals than Laine, and Laine is the pure goal scorer. And that's how good Kyle Connor is at just scoring goals, his play style, and how well it produces. He's 15th in the league in points with 73 as well. That's huge too. Because him and Mark Scheifele are in the top 20. They're there. Kyle Connor is keeping up with Mark Scheifele. If Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and Patrick Laine are going to develop into guys who are going to consistently get you close to 75 to 80 points, that could be huge for the Jets. And Kyle Connor needs some recognition. More people need to be talking about how good this guy is. During the offseason, people were mind blown that Kyle Connor is the last RFA to sign. That's a joke. Winnipeg should have signed this guy a long time ago. This is a $5 million contract. Why do they care? Blah, blah, blah. And then when we signed him to that contract, and I actually do not have the stat with me. I forgot to get that one, so let me quickly pull up Cap Friendly and get that number for his cap. But his contract is worth $7 million. That's it. Basically a little over, 7 and change, 7.142. That is messed. That's insane. We're paying a guy that can literally who can possibly get 40 goals, $7 million, until 2025, 2026. You can't. How do you complain as a Jets fan? I see people saying, "Oh, we need to move Kyle Connor and give this increased minutes to Nikolai Ehlers, and because Nikolai Ehlers is the best true player." Nikolai Ehlers is a fantastic player, don't get me wrong, but why the hell would you trade a guy who's under an amazing contract for where the league's tending to go for guys around this contract and what he's going to be getting? Kyle Connor is going to score more goals than Mitch Marner will in his career. No matter who Mitch Marner plays with, and it's showing now that he's not the true goal scorer that he was. He had a great year. That's not shitting on Mitch Marner. I love Mitch Marner. I think he's a great player. I respect him. And that says a lot for me. I don't like the Leafs, but he needs respect, and Jets fans needs to respect him more. There's a huge majority of us that love him, that would not want to see him gone at all, but there is, for some reason, a very vocal minority that doesn't get it through their stupid heads that trading a guy who is going to be efficient two-way wise, who plays solid minutes, who puts up offensive numbers like ease, really, and you're going to trade him. Everyone used to say, oh, Kyle Connor's only getting 30 goals because he's playing with Blake Wheeler. Well, he's not playing with Blake Wheeler now. Mark Scheifele's not a good player. Patrick Laine's not a good player. Nikolai Ehlers isn't a good player. Brian Little's not a good player. You could put Kyle Connor on the 4th line with Lowry and Perreault, and I bet he would still get 25 goals, maybe even 30, because of his ability. His play style is beautiful. It just fits the modern NHL. A fast, hard-working forward who skates well, who has great vision, and who has got slick hands, some of the slickest in the league. He's scored some beautiful goals this season, and I'm just so, that's one of the biggest things I hate right now about the suspension is the fact that we can't see him hit 40, because I think he could have hit 45. I really think the way the Jets were trending, he could have got 45 goals, maybe. Like, it's insane. Kyle Connor right now has 38 goals. Are you telling me he can't get 50? Like, who really? Like, it's completely there. He could get 50 goals. Why? Like, you have a 50-goal scorer. Patrick Laine, a possible another 50-goal scorer. Mark Scheifele, who could be another 50-goal scorer. And a guy like Blake Wheeler and Nikolai Ehlers around them to help make them better goal scorers. And Nikolai Ehlers is a pretty good goal scorer himself. Like, why? Our offense is set. The only thing we need to do is sign Laine long term. And then you're done. Top 6 is fine. Find a center that works for you. See how Brian Little fits. Work him into this situation. I love Brian Little, and I will defend him until the day I die. My all-time favorite Jet for the modern guys. I've always loved him and respected everything he's done for the team. If you think that even Brian Little is not the best center, and which sometimes I don't feel like he's the best center to fit with those guys, he's a good center. I'm talking about like compatibility with the two players that he plays with. Last year with being Laine and Ehlers, that didn't work. But if I was to tell you that if you had guys like Mark Scheifele, Kyle Connor, Blake Wheeler, and Nikolai Ehlers all locked up for the foreseeable future, and the only thing you had to worry about is giving Laine an extension on a contract because he's still signed, just extending him, and then finding a way to incorporate Brian Little into that, that's it. And if Brian Little doesn't work, you've got Cody Eakin, and Cody Eakin's playing great. If we can bring in Cody Eakin and shuffle around the lines, we have an extra guy who can play great center and is showing compatibility with Laine and Ehlers and playing compatible with all the guys in the top 6. We are set offensively. If anyone thinks that trading Kyle Connor is a good idea, you're dumb. It's as simple as that. There's no logical reason for trading a guy who could get 50 goals because you think Ehlers could do it too. Might as well give it to Ehlers and save money. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's not like we're paying him $12 million, $11 million, $10 million, and we have to cut savings. There's no point. Ehlers making six up until a year before Kyle Connor's contract ends. You got two guys making with 6, one making 7. You're telling me you're going to let $7 million stop you from keeping a 50-goal score because you think it can overall affect the team better and boost our team? You're insane. We have no issues on cap-wise because our top 6 is locked up basically for the next 5 years. Our bottom 6 is full of young potential and raw potential with experienced guys who are obviously going to bring back and help keep in that role. Because they love the team, they play well, and they fit what the team is. It's part of our identity. Adam Lowry's not going anywhere. What are we gonna do with Adam Lowry if you trade Kyle Connor? You know, he's gonna stay there, but that means you're gonna shuffle your lines. Who are you bringing in to play in the second line now? Kyle Connor's gone. First line, you're gonna have to bump up Ehlers if you want to play Ehlers. It's all these stupid things that people don't actually think about when they suggest trades like this, and it's asinine. There's no point in it. Anyone who thinks trading Kyle Connor is worth any consideration at all is not a real Jets fan, because a real Jets fan would want actual success and actual production. Why would you trade that for a what-if scenario where you think you could find this? There's no point in even discussing it. It's a waste of time. Trading Nikolai Ehlers makes more sense because he fits more of a role that teams are willing to trade for. You know, Kyle Connor he's got a bigger cap hit, so it is a little bit harder to trade for. 6 is better than 7. We all know that. The lower, the better. But for what? What are you going to trade him for? What a first and a defensive, a reliable defenseman? We have Josh Morrissey. We have Neil Pionk. We have Ville Heinola coming up. You know, we have Dylan DeMello, who hopefully we sign, who can fit in there. Sammy Niki's played well. Tucker Pullman's played well. What, you're going to replace Anthony Boteto or Nathan Beaulieu? Great, wow. That's going to fix our defense by taking one of those guys who is literally disposable at any point in the season for any team, and you're going to trade him for a first and a defenseman or a first and a top 6 guy that's okay? Where's the sense in that? It doesn't make any sense. There's no point on trading a guy like that who is on an amazing contract, who wants to play, more importantly. He's the only guy out of that RFA class who signed a legit long-term deal. He wanted to stay. How can you complain with that? How could you want to trade that? it blows my mind. So to any Jet fan who thinks Kyle Connor is a great player but a better asset, you're insane. Simple as that. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you can agree and see where I'm coming from. I'm a very opinionated person. You guys are going to start to know that when you're watching the channel and stuff like that. And I know a lot about hockey. And people like to combat in sports your opinion. That's normal, and I love it. It's what sports is so great about within communities, you know? Talking and discussing and debating. It's awesome. We all love it, and we should all do it respectfully. If you have an issue with me and anything I'm saying, I would love to talk to you about it, and in the comments or Twitter or anything. You can follow my Twitter in the description below. Tweet at me any questions you want. I'll always be watching games and everything like that. I know we have nothing right now, so this is the best time to talk about hockey. We all gotta, stay united together as fans and get through this hard time in the world. We're facing some dark times, guys, and let's just stay positive and keep the community going. So let's just have fun and talk this stuff out. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed hearing my opinions. I'd love to hear yours. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, all the normal stuff you do. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.